Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Young at Heart, featuring nursery rhymes, stories, songs, poems, Mother Goose, Aesop's fables, Lewis Carroll, limericks, larks, epic stories of the great operas, and such, to keep us all young at heart. I'm Father James DiLuzio, back in the library of the Paulist Fathers Rectory. Tonight I'm going to read to you. It's an Italian legend from Italy. It's called The Lord St. Peter and the Blacksmith. Now, don't tell me you know this one. I didn't know this one. But maybe you do. You can tell me if you did. In a little town about as large as Sihio or Tiene, once lived a master smith, a good, industrious, and skillful man, but so proud of his skill that he would not deign to reply to anyone who did not address him as professore. Now, this pride in a man otherwise so blameless gave universal dissatisfaction. One day, our Lord appeared in the blacksmith's shop, accompanied by St. Peter, whom he was always in the habit of taking with him on such excursions. "Professore," said the Lord, "will you be so good as to permit me to do a little work at your forge?" "Why not? It is at your service," replied the flattered smith. "What do you wish to make?" "That you will soon see," said the Lord. And he took up a pair of tongs, with which he seized Peter and held him in the forge until he was red hot. Then he drew Peter out and hammered Peter on all sides, and in less than 10 minutes the old bald-headed apostle was forged anew into a wonderfully handsome youth with beautiful hair. The blacksmith stood speechless with astonishment, while the Lord and St. Peter exchanged the most courteous thanks and compliments. Finally, the master smith recovered himself, and he ran straight up to the second story, where his sick old father lay in bed. "Father," he cried, "come quickly. I have just learned how to make a strong young man of you." "My son, have you lost your senses?" said the old man, half terrified. "No, only believe me, I have just seen it myself." Finding that the old man protested against this attempt, the son seized his father forcibly, carried him to the shop, and in spite of the poor old man's shrieks and entreaties, thrust him into the forge, but brought nothing out but a piece of charred leg, which fell to pieces at the first blow of the blacksmith's hammer. The blacksmith was seized with anguish and remorse. He ran quickly in search of these two men, and fortunately he found them in the marketplace. "Sir," he cried, "what have you done? You have misled me. I wanted to imitate your skill, and I have burned my father alive. Come with me quickly. Help me if you can." Then the Lord smiled graciously and said, "Go home comforted. You will find your father alive and well, but an old man again." And so he did find him, to his great joy. From that time his pride disappeared, and whenever anyone called him professore, he would exclaim, That is folly. That is folly. There are gentlemen in Venice and professors in Padua. They're the professori. Me, I'm just a bungler. And so he learned humility. There we go. It was kind of fun, very kooky. Had you heard it before? All right, that's it. Time to sign off. This evening, earlier, I was at a Ramadan celebration. You know, those great dinners that the Muslims have after sundown? And we waited till sundown. It was 7:22 or 7:21, I think. Yeah, it was hosted by the Jesuits of St. Ignatius of Loyola Church in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue, and also Peace Islands, which is a Muslim initiative for inter-religious dialogue. Look up, Google, Peace Islands, USA. They're international also, or Peace Islands, New York. You'll meet my friend Emre, who is the director there, who invited me to this very wonderful event, and I made some new friends, handed out my cards to people of the Muslim community. I met the Muslim chaplain, a beautiful woman, and her husband and her son, that she's a chaplain at Columbia University. I would love to go there and meet some folks and see what they're up to. And St. Ignatius has an extraordinary outreach, multi-faith, not only to the Muslims, but to the Jews and the Sikhs and all these other wonderful people. So it was a grand day, but I didn't want it to conclude without a folk tale, a fairy tale, an Italian folk tale, as it turns out to be. Have a great weekend, everyone, as we enter into Passion Week. So I would say no, well, maybe. I don't know. See if I'm posting anything on Tuesday. Next Friday, however, no. I will not be posting on Good Friday, A Young at Heart. But maybe Saturday. We'll see. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Good night, everyone.